Starting.
Hello class, welcome. So today we're going to learn how to make a visual for a presentation. And we're going to make this visual about plants and animals from a region that I lived in for 4 years. And today I'm just going to show you how to make a visual, and we're going to then make it together. But this is to prepare you to make another visual about your home region for homework next week, which you will then present to the whole class. And learning how to make a good poster or visual is just good for any presentation you'll make in the future, in your ESL classes, or in your workplace. Oftentimes you'll give a presentation, and it's good to know the skills you might need, or pictures, and different ways to show those things. And I also know that you guys have been wanting to teach each other about your home regions, so I think this will be a good way to do that, and also to continue our learning about plants and animals that we've been doing over the past unit. So for the warm-up, we're going to do a KWL. So with your partner, you can be partners in YouTube and YouTube. I want one person to write what you want to know, or what you know about Costa Rica, which is the country that I'm doing my presentation on, because I live there. And you guys can talk about it first, about what you know, and then the other partner to write what they want to know. So 1 or 2 things, it can be very simple. But try to relate it to plants and animals. Anything about plants and animals. Costa Rica.
Are there mangoes?
So just to give background, it's pretty tropical there. So tropical plants and animals.
Know or want to know?
You decide which one to do.
Oh, okay. Are you doing want to know? I'll do no. Sorry.
Yeah, go up and put them on the board when you're done.
It's tropical. So there's birds.
Yeah.
There we go. Related it. Like toucan. Toucan. What did I say that? Toucan Joe.
So let's look at what you wrote. For what you know, there is a monkey sanctuary. Oh, cool. Do you guys know what sanctuary means? So sanctuary is like a safe place that animals are protected in. And usually in tropical places, there are these places called sanctuaries that are reserved especially for one type of animal or several types of animals for them to live there. So there is a monkey sanctuary. I didn't know that, so that's cool. We're going to be learning about a sanctuary that's in the region I lived in Monteverde, which is a small little town in the mountains. And it's tropical, so there's birds. Yeah, I think that's true too. And then what you want to know, what predators are there, and what kinds of animals are there. Mangoes. I love mangoes too. Yeah, we're going to be learning about some animals that live there and some common plants that live in Costa Rica today. So for your presentation, you will be answering these types of questions about plants and animals. So where is your region located? What does the region name mean? And today I'm going to be answering these questions, and you're going to be putting the answers onto visuals that we make together. But when your presentation comes along, you can use these questions as a guide for your questions. You can change them if you want. These are just for my region for today. First, we're going to go over some questions you can ask when someone's giving a presentation about how to get more information from them. So I know when you're listening to a presentation, it can be hard to hear what people are saying because sometimes they speak really fast or they go over a fact or a concept and you don't really know what they said. So we're going to go over some questions that you can ask when you haven't heard what someone said. So Raylin, what do you say when you don't hear the last sentence a person says?
Could you repeat?
Yeah.
These are called clarifying questions.
Can everyone repeat after me? Could you repeat that? Could you repeat that? What's another one that you might ask if you didn't hear a certain word that someone said and you were trying to write it down? Amber, what would you say?
Can you spell that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then if you understood what the words are, but don't really know what they mean, the meaning, what would you say, Annie? Mm-hmm. So could you repeat after me? How do you spell that? How do you spell that? And then for this one, what does that mean? What does that mean? Very good. And then another way we can say this one is, what do you mean by blank? It's just another form of saying this one. So can everyone repeat? What do you mean by sanctuary, for example? So if at any point you don't understand exactly what I'm saying during this presentation, please ask me any of these questions that applies to that. And then for your own presentation, make sure you're keeping these in mind for your students or for the rest of the students in the class. In case they don't understand how a word is spelled, you can say, do you need me to spell it out for you? Or do you need me to repeat that? Things like that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you one way you can make your visual about your home region. So this one is mine. It's called a brochure. You guys ever seen a brochure before? It's like a little sort of folded piece of paper that gives you a lot of information about one topic usually, or one place. And you can usually find them at tourist offices or places for tourists that are giving information for you to carry around with you. I like them because it's very transportable. You can kind of just put it in your pocket and head out. So for Monteverde, this is the town that I lived in for 4 years when I was younger. We're just going to go through the different images that are in my brochure so we can understand what each one is showing before we make our presentation, make our visuals together. So might be hard to see. This is a map of Costa Rica. And do you guys know what Costa Rica is at all? What continent it's on? Shane, do you know what continent Costa Rica is on?
South America?
Central
Yeah,
America.
is that a continent?
Yes.
Okay.
And Costa Rica is located in the middle of Central America. And Monteverde, which is the specific area I'm focusing on, is right in the middle of Costa Rica in the mountains. So that's the area we're focusing on. And so there's a little smaller map that I put on here, my first one. And here we have a picture of an animal. Braylon, do you know what that animal is? Yeah, it's a toad, which is another type of the same animal, an amphibian. But it looks a lot like a frog, but it's actually a toad. But yeah, very similar to a frog. And then, let's see, Ember, what does that look like to you? A forest. It's a picture of like above of the forest trees. So what we're looking at here is actually called a forest canopy. Does anyone know what canopy means? No? So a canopy is usually like the roof of something. But we use it here with the forest as like the roof of the forest. So it's like the highest branches or highest trees that are covering forest. So here is a forest canopy. Shane, what does that look like to you?
Oh, that one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one.
This one.
Oh, that looks like a bird.
Yeah, it is a bird. This is a bird that lives in Monteverde. Very exotic tropical bird. You can't really see, but it had a lot of colors. Sorry, I couldn't put out the colors there. But and then what does that look like to you, Anne? Palm tree. It is a palm tree. Yeah. That's because in Monteverde, it's pretty tropical there. So there are a lot of different types of trees that grow in tropical climates, like palm trees. And then Ember, what does that look like? Can you see? Yeah, greenhouse. It's actually the word we were learning about earlier, a sanctuary. And in Monteverde, there's a huge butterfly sanctuary. You guys know what butterfly is? It's like do you know?
Butterfly?
A butterfly?
Flying.
Yeah, it's a flying insect. It's beautiful and usually has lots of colors. And in this sanctuary, there are more than 1 million butterflies that live there, and it's protected for them. No one can come in and mess with them or build a house on the land, only for the butterflies. And then, Shane, what does that look like to you?
Coffee?
Yeah, those are coffee beans. And coffee is one of the biggest products that Monteverde produces. It's one of the most common plants found in Costa Rica and in Monteverde. And then, Braylon, what does that look like to you?
Nothing. The clouds.
Yeah, so this is the type of forest that is in Monteverde. It's called a cloud forest. So do you guys know what a rainforest is? Yeah? It's like a tropical forest where there are a lot of different kinds of plants and animals, exotic and hot usually. But here in Monteverde is a cloud forest. So it's kind of the same where it's very humid and hot, but there's lots of clouds instead of a lot of sun. Okay, so now that we've gone through the images, we're going to make our visuals together in pairs. So you two can work together. You two. Okay. So here, the first thing I did was fold my paper into 3 like that, and I'm going to pass out different papers. Sorry, not that one. That that you then fold first in the third like this. You have it open, in, like that, and fold over into 3 sections. And brochures can be either like this, vertical, or like this, horizontal. Today we're going to make a horizontal brochure. Does everyone have theirs folded? Yeah. And so next, I would like you to write the title of your region. This time you're going to write my title, but when you're making your own visual, you would put your title on yours. It's really important that you have a clear title that can be seen from far away, because that's sort of the basis of your whole presentation. So I'm going to pass out pens. And then the way you spell Monteverde is like this. Monteverde. Monteverde. It's a Spanish word. And so Monteverde is a place that is full of many different types of plants and animals. Has huge diversity with that. So I thought it was a good place to pick for this project. And so let's see. Raylyn, could you ask me the first question on the board?
Where is Monteverde located?
It is located in Costa Rica, like we learned. So could everyone please cut out the first image on the paper, is the map. And once you have cut out your image, take a piece of tape and put it on the back, and then place it on the upper left corner on the inside cover. So this is the cover right here. So the inside cover would be right here, the most upper left corner. Okay, so see, Anne, could you ask me the second question?
What does Monteverde mean?
Yeah, so Monteverde means green mountain in English. So could everyone write under Monteverde on the cover and green mountain in quotes? And then Shane, could you ask me the third question?
What is the population?
So the population of the Monteverde area is about 7,000 people. And I want you to write under the map, population equals 7,000. And then, Ember, could you ask me the fourth question? What is the climate like? The climate is tropical. So here I have a palm tree, which shows it's tropical. So could everyone please cut out the palm tree and tape it next to your map? And then once you're done taping, write climate equals tropical. Shane, could you read the fifth question?
What is it surrounded by?
Yeah, so remember how I was saying that it's surrounded by a cloud forest, a type of forest. So I would like you to write, cut out first this picture, showing the cloud forest, and right under it, cloud forest. And then, Raylin, could you ask me the fifth question, or sixth question?
How do the trees get water?
Yeah, so in Monteverde, it's a very special situation with the trees because the ground is pretty dry. And so the trees don't get their water from the ground. Their roots go up into the canopy. Remember how I was talking about the canopy is the roof on top of the forest? And draw water from the clouds. Because it's a cloud forest, there's so many clouds everywhere, there's so much water falling all the time, that allows them to get their water from above instead of below. So I would like you to cut out this picture of the canopy showing the top of the forest and right under it, the trees get their water from the clouds. Does anyone need me to repeat that? The trees get their water from the clouds. Okay, Shane, could you ask me the seventh question?
What is a common plant that grows there?
Yeah, so a common plant that grows is coffee. There are a lot of coffee plants in the Monteverde region. So I would like you to cut out a picture of coffee and write common plant equals coffee. And it's also their biggest product. It's the biggest thing that they sell to other places in Costa Rica and other countries in Costa Rica, or other countries in South America. And then, Anne, could you ask me the eighth question?
What animal is common in Monteverde?
Yeah, so an animal that's very common is the quetzal, which is this bird. So I'm going to write that on the board because it's kind of a weird word. It's like this. Quetzal. So I want you to write this word, cut out this picture of the bird, tape it next to the coffee, and write quetzal under it. And Monteverde is one of the best places to see birds in Costa Rica. There's so many different kinds. It's beautiful place to do that. And you can see Kensaw there. So, Ember, could you ask me question number 9?
What animal only lives in monkeys?
Yeah, so this is a very special kind of animal because it only lives in a 1.5 square mile radius in Monteverde and doesn't live anywhere else in the world except for this place. That animal is the golden toad. So I want you to cut out the picture of the toad that we saw before, tape it on the last section of your brochure, and then write, the golden toad only lives in Monteverde. Does anyone need me to repeat that? The golden toad only lives in Monteverde. And then, Raylan, did you ask me the 10th question?
What insect is protected in Monteverde?
Yeah, we talked about this before. Do you guys remember which one I said?
The butterfly?
Yeah, exactly, the butterfly. So I want you to take your last image, which is a picture of the butterfly sanctuary, and tape it next to the image of the toad, and then write, butterflies are protected in Monteverde. Awesome job, guys. It looks like you followed my directions exactly for making this visual. So next week for your homework, I want you to have these questions. I'll send them out to you, but have 10 or so questions like this about plants and animals from your home region. And you don't have to have these exactly, but have similar ones. Common animal, a special animal, maybe a common plant, what the climate's like, things like that. And then next week, I'll show you how to present these projects. And then later, you'll present them for the whole class. So what we're going to do now is do what we learned today. So I would like everyone to write one thing they learned about Monteverde, or about making a visual for a presentation, 1 or 2 things. And then as you come up and put them on the board, I want you to read out loud so everyone can hear what you said.
I learned that the golden toad only lives in Monteverde.
I wrote the same thing, but within a 1.5 minute.
Mm-hmm.
I learned the same thing, but I also learned coffee is Monteverde's largest.
I learned that butterflies are protected in Monteverde.
I love pizza and Monteverde is the best place to see for.
Yeah. Okay, awesome job today, guys. Come up with your regions next week.
Yeah, nice job.
Should I go next or do you?
What would you rather?